remember when it was fucking my turn, I had my shit all written out, and I came up, and I was so nervous. I'd never been this nervous in my fucking life, and I spit my verse with no confidence, nothing. Like, if I listen to that shit today, it'll make me want to fucking kill myself. But like, the lyric laughed like the goofiest fucking witch cackle I ever heard in my life, and it was fucking awesome. Like I wake up every day and I feel like I'm on vacation. Nah, this my real life, and homie, I ain't playing. Less than Super Mario Brothers with the homies on the team. TA in the building, newest team on the scene. All started with track 1 of this EP. Before I joined the team, life wasn't going easy, but now I'm easy going. Everybody see me growing, yeah, I'm beaming and glowing and gleaming and showing, and everybody knowing that when TA get the flowing, always sunny, never snowing. Man, we turning up the heat, and everybody know we going to be making noise in the game. Never tiptoeing like the fuse and let it burn. You know we gon' be blowing up like Eddie Murphy's grill, and we gon' be like herpes still here after all the years, and we got the game covered. Alpha to Zeta, you can always count on us like a calculator. What's up?
I remember I was kind of envious of that, and I decided to use it myself. For a while I was calling girls that I was talking to Team Awesome, and they ate that shit up. So then I was like, you know, why not? No, we're a team, we're awesome. Shit, fuck it, we're Team Awesome. We're Team Awesome. I've had the worst of times, these are the best of times. I write these rhymes to stimulate your mind. Thoughts I never left behind, a past that I cannot rewind. But it's okay, cause I worked on mine. Like a pickaxe in a coal mine. Seen light blow up in my face like a landmine. How I always land my feet on solid ground. Fans rush the stage when they hear our sound. Yeah, we're in your town, and if not yet, then we're coming right around like clockwork. If music was a baby, then we would be the stork. Our time EP all up in your stores. Watch, we will have more in store. Got lyrics coming out my pores. Team Awesome, open up the doors. I do this for my friends, my core.
I remember back when I had a Kia, I used to drive to the racetrack. I'd get a liter of lemonade and a big old bag of gummy worms, and I'd get the instrumental from Lyric. Then I'd go home and try to write some lyrics, and that shit lasted till about 6 in the morning. Then I woke up at about 7 in the morning. You remember when? I remember when. Wait a minute, I don't really remember that shit. I just giggled at everything you claimed March 9th. I remember when everything changed. I turned 23 the day before. At 24 I became more a father, a provider, a leader, an insider of a team that spit fire like a dragon fight. The party and don't stop till tomorrow night. UCF nights, we lived the crazy life. Frat shit, bad chicks till we dropped bird shit. It made me better, but it didn't make me perfect. Can you believe that I still get nervous? But back when I called my back up and got back up, that's why we fall, to learn how to stand tall when there's no time for time off.
And when he finally broke those shackles and we all came together and we all started doing this music thing, it became awesome. Like, you know, everyone needs a good supporting cast. Everyone needs somebody to have their back. Everyone just needs a team that's awesome. And that's what we are for each other. I base this verse off of memories, the ones I'll never forget. Even after I'm 83, inspired by our beats to continue moving and making music for the fans and our family. Rest in peace to the ones deceased, and do pay respects, please. Grandma, I promise I will make it big for you and the rest of them. I do this for the love of it. Money's just a benefit to help all the misfortunate. I'm aiming global for the kids so all their kids can have a crib. But future opposite of them, I also dream like Dr. King. And I love this awesome team. We're heading north with our New Jersey to replace all defeats by embracing all the feats and walking tall on all the feats attached to the soul, mind, and body to live out the best of times like the birth of my child. Rocking awesome crowds, staying up discussing life and how you should let your energy shine, cause if you don't, it'll one day die.
Yo, I remember when I was working at Office Max and Lyric was my manager. Fucking one day he was like, yo, we were talking, he was like, yo, I make music, I rap. I was like, oh shit, me too, and I make beats. And he was like, word? Oh shit, we gotta link up, we gotta do something. He was like, me and my boy, we started this group called Team Awesome. And I was like, in my head, I was like, fuck Team Awesome. I was like, that's the stupidest shit I ever heard. But I was like, alright, like, I'll give him some beats. This motherfucker chased me down for 2 months. It took 2 months for me to give him some beats. Like, I had no confidence in my shit. I had no, you know, I was so self-conscious about it. I was like trying to make everything perfect and shit. I was trying to give him a fucking Dr. Dre production, you know what I'm saying? And then finally, like, I gave him the beats. And I remember he and Guelz were going to Orlando. And I was working. And I get a text, and it's like, yo, these beats are fucking fuego. Like, we want to use them. It's like, and I remember the feeling. I was like amazed. It was like the best feeling I ever had. It was the first time that, like, I ever put myself out there musically and let somebody listen to my shit. And to get like that kind of reception was amazing. I was like, people actually like my shit. I was like, I'm actually ill. I'm dope. I was like, damn, you know. And then, you know, 2 of those beats ended up becoming High Hype and Turn On. So, I mean, what a fucking difference a year makes, you know what I'm saying? I remember, like, the first session we ever had, we came in with a shitty ass microphone that I had and a fucking mic stand that was made out of books. And it was so raw and so real. And we came in here, we fucking did High Hype, and I remember when it was fucking my turn, I had my shit all written out, and I came up, and I was so nervous. I'd never been this nervous in my fucking life, and I spit my verse with no confidence, nothing. Like, if I listen to that shit today, it'll make me want to fucking kill myself. But, like, Lyric laughed like the goofiest fucking witch cackle I ever heard in my life, and it was fucking awesome. Like, and from that day, like, we just, you know, we realized that we had something, and we were a fucking team, and we were fucking awesome, and we still are. And this fucking EP is just the culmination of everything that we've been working toward. And, you know, the fucking sky's the limit, and we're gonna get it. That's what's up.
I remember where it all started. Spring break in PCB, and you know, we were all chilling at the beach, having a good time, partying it up, and you know, my people were you know, kicking the free. They were ciphering, and I hopped in the cipher and I freestyled for the first time, and you know, it stuck with me. We were actually promoting for, you know, a band we started called Let's Start From Scratch. So it's weird that, you know, these rock dudes were, you know, rapping and shit. So I got back from spring break and I talked to Guelz. He's my roommate and shit. And I was like, yo, let's start rapping. He was all about it, all for it, you know. And it just kind of stuck, and we had to figure out what we're gonna call ourselves. And you know, I came up with a great idea, and it spawned from Guelz and, you know, an ex-girlfriend of his 5 years ago. They used to call each other Team Awesome, and I remember, you know, I was kind of envious of that, and I decided to use it myself. For a while, I was calling girls that I was talking to Team Awesome, and they ate that shit up. So then I was like, you know, why not? You know, we're a team, we're awesome. Shit, fuck it, we're Team Awesome. So that's how it started. And we started like as a duo, and then, you know, we talked to Choice, and Choice was in, and he was writing, and I would tell him, I would give him beats. In 30 minutes, he have a whole song written out for me. So that's how it started, and then from there, we wrote our first song. It was called Fire Like a Phoenix. That's kind of where I got my name from. I remember just sitting in our living room for like hours just writing songs and freestyling, and it just became part of our routine. You know, some people brush their teeth before they go to bed. We freestyled before we went to bed, and it just motivated us and pushed us, and then we finally got to step in the studio thanks to my dad and Chocolate, this producer, and we recorded our first mixtape, our first project. It was called Wait For It, and Choice co-wrote on that mixtape. He wasn't at that time. He wasn't rapping. You know, he was in basic training. So you know, he's helping us from abroad, and then later on, you know, we ran into a producer named Lynx, and he became part of the team. He had dope beats. He had ill lyrics, and you know, we recorded our first song together. It took 8 months for it to actually drop, but we recorded High Hype, and that was an experience of a lifetime. I remember just listening to that beat for 9 hours straight, and like for days I just heard the same beat over and over, stuck in my head, and it left an impression on us, and it's one of the most memorable moments of Team Awesome. And then, you know, we took it to the next level. We finished the mixtape. We finished 2, and then we did our first show. We went to American Rock and, you know, rocked the house, man. Wall Street was there, and you know, it was awesome. There's nothing else to explain, to say, other than it was fucking awesome. You know, to perform on the stage and see my teammates just do what they love, music.
I remember back when I had a Kia, I used to drive to the racetrack. I get a liter of lemonade and a big old bag of gummy worms, and I get the instrumental from Lyric. Then I go home and try to write some lyrics, and that shit lasted till about 6 in the morning. Then I woke up at about 7 in the morning, and I ain't even have a job back then, so I don't even know what I was doing up so early. But I was just trying to work some more on more lyrics. And we were doing volume 1, and I was like, man, no one's gonna like this shit I'm writing. And the lyric was still recording the lyrics, and I was like, this shit's actually kinda hot, but I ain't trying to film myself, so I'ma just act like it's alright. And I remember when volume 1, I think came out, I was in like basic training or some shit, maybe. Shit, I think I was in tech school, I was listening to it, but I still kept it on the low. People be like, what the fuck is that? That sounds so good. And I was like, man, that shit is my friends. I didn't even tell anyone I wrote it, just cause I hate when people ask me to freestyle. So
begin. I remember when damn, I remember so many things. I mean, I even remember the day I met Lyric and, you know, Mr. Phoenix. This was years back, before we even had any music, you know, desire or musical desire, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, that trip when we went to Panama City Beach, you know, for spring break, because it was kind of like a routine. We had gone to spring break so many times together. That trip was special, and, you know, in many different factors, but like Lyric explained earlier, we were on the beach just freestyling, having a good time. You know, like we had Choice out there, we had Nick Flo out there, that's one of our good homeboys that lives up in Melbourne. And, you know, we were all, as a group, just having a really good time, not worrying about anything around us. We were just being us. And freestyling was just something to see if, like, you know, to see what we had, because a little part of me honestly always wanted to try it, and I have in the past, not anything serious, but just like, you know, amongst myself. But this was the first time around the crowd where I was actually spitting bars, and it wasn't like a crowd of people or, you know, anyone famous or special. It was just us, and it felt good. And from there on, Lyric and myself realized, you know what, like, why don't we try to do this shit for real? You know, when he pitched the idea to me, a part of me said, you know, fuck it. Let's make this a reality in a way, because I was always influenced by music. I always wanted to be famous or big, or, you know, I wanted to be known, you know, for something that I do in, you know, either whether it be in music or acting, whatever you want to call it. But that wasn't what drove us to want to do this. It was more like we were trying to build a band. As Lyric said, it was, you know, let's start from scratch. But that never occurred to be anything. I mean, me and our boy Nature Boy, you know, and we tried to kind of keep it going a little bit, you know, because we were playing the guitars and try to make some licks here and there, and, you know, we try to make this band expand, but that never went through like that. So when Lyric came up and said, you know what, let's start making rap, I said, fuck it, you know, like, let's do it. Let's not do what we did with Let's Start From Scratch and just, you know, try it out. Let's actually make it a reality. And once it started going through, it was beautiful. You know, like, we met Corbin, and it was funny because he actually came out of nowhere. Like, it was just a surprise to me because Jared had always told me about him. You know, and Corbin is Lynx and Jared is Lyric, by the way, but he always told me, yo, this guy is a producer, he's a rapper, this and that. Never heard any of his stuff. But when he stepped up in the studio and he showed us basically what he's made of and his beats, I was like, damn, like, who is this guy? Like, why isn't he with us? Like, why isn't he part of Team Awesome? And honestly, just like Corbin said, when Jared first dropped the name Team Awesome, like, at least for when he considered that to be the name of the group, I was like, that's fucking stupid. Like, why would we call ourselves that? But I was like, fuck it, you know, like, I'm down. I'm all about it, all for it, like James says. And James is Choice. But, you know, Choice always ghost wrote, you know, and that's what he kind of wanted to be at first. And I was like, I'm not feeling that. Like, James should spit his own bars because he's ill. Like, he's got to put his own flavor into what he says. And when he finally broke those shackles and we all came together and we all started doing this music thing, it became awesome. Like, you know, everyone needs a good supporting cast. Everyone needs somebody to have their back. Everyone just needs a team that's awesome. And that's what we are for each other. For life. Represent. By the way, I'm Miguel. My team calls me Guelz. Stay positive.
Team Awesome. Team Awesome. Team Awesome. What happens next? Watch.